do, just drop your name, where you're from, and how you heard about us. And that really helps us to make sure we're doing the right things to reach you. Today, we are going to be talking about 7 quick steps to start your business. And what we're going to cover is who we are as Lyfe Wurks. I am your host, Jay Marie. We'll go over that. We're going to talk about who and what type of people start a home-based business. And then we're going to go straight into the 7 steps. And a couple of bonuses. We have a new course alert. We're going to talk about low-cost and no-cost technology tools, how to grow Instagram overnight. And I have a little prize for the person who is most interactive. So I'm going to ask some questions, and that's just important so we can kind of hone in on what works for you all and what you want to hear and what you want to learn. So first, who's Lyfe Wurks? So let me just tell you, our mission is to drive the advancement of entrepreneurship using a holistic concentration on a person's life and work balance to achieve financial growth and longevity. And so, in other words, our basic focus here is on entrepreneurship. And we will show you some statistics on why. So a little bit about me. I'm not going to go through all this, but I am from DC. I have about 20 years of corporate and entrepreneurship experience. I am blessed with a father who was and is an entrepreneur. So I learned so much from that side, and from my mother, who is, I think, 20 years plus in the government and has an amazing work ethic as well. And so I learned so much from them. I went on and earned my business marketing degree from Towson and my MBA from University of Maryland University College. So I worked in many different industries. So here's some that you can see here. And some of my highlights were working in biotech and broadcasting, sports marketing, death care industry, believe it or not, and the mortgage industry. And I also worked and operated a mortgage broker firm with my father. And from all of this, I was able to craft what we call here a holistic foundation. And that's some of what we bring to you tonight. And also, more recently, I think Lou is on the line, have BDX Radio, which is also Radio 1. We co-host a segment called Becoming a Boss, and that has been an awesome experience every second Monday of the month in Baltimore. And BOSS stands for Business Owners Seeking Success. And on a personal level, I have a son here. I love to travel. I love to cook meals for only 30 minutes, and I love music, live music. So, all right. So let's just dive right on in. So there's a couple of people that we've been able to identify that start home-based businesses. And this is pretty cool because a lot of people can identify themselves in these 4 categories. Now there's more, but these are the main ones that we get on a weekly and monthly basis. So people who feel undervalued. So you may have frustrations on your work at your job. You may be underpaid. You may be dissatisfied, and you may experience layoffs. There's those who have this $1 million money-making idea, and those people typically have something they know can solve a problem for their community or for the world. They have the ability to generate income, and maybe an opportunity has presented itself, and so they see this as an opportunity to start a business. A lot of people are trained or skilled in something. So they may have a certification, or they're licensed in something particular. They're trained in a subject, or they have the ability to teach that. And when you have that, you can definitely start a business. And some people just prefer that work from home lifestyle or work from anywhere lifestyle. That's that WFA. And some people have it as a necessity. Some people just don't want to be on a job and they don't want to have a boss. And so out of these 4, just drop in the questions box, which one do you kind of identify with? I mean, there may be more than one, but I know for me personally, I felt undervalued on the job. And I definitely want that work from anywhere lifestyle. All right, so drop that in the box. So we've got some work from anywhere and trained and skilled. Awesome. Undervalued. Yeah, sorry. We got some money-making ideas. And that's awesome, because think about it. The craziest ideas have become billion-dollar industries. I mean, think about the cell phone. That is just what, over 30 years somebody thought of a cell phone, and now look at all the stuff that we have with it today. So here's some statistics I want to hit you with. Forbes says 79 million people are going to start a home-based business within the next 5 years. Okay, that doesn't even cover people that do big corporations and conglomerates. We've got 69% of US entrepreneurs will start at home. So that's why we have this course, and this is why we're doing this webinar tonight. It's a huge percentage of us. 1/3 of small businesses will get started with less than $5,000. So I know that's a big one for a lot of us, because we're on somewhat of a budget and you may feel undervalued, but it is possible for you to do something, possibly on the side. And this one was really interesting to me, that the age range is 50 to 59. They cover 35% of those entrepreneurs. And so you can look here on this range and see where you are. I was surprised. I thought millennials would kind of take over, but there's still time. So in addition to that, here's some top 5 industries that people are starting. And then on the right and the left are some typical businesses that people start. And so hit me with 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. What industry are you thinking about, or what industry are you in? What business have you started? So number 1, top industry is business services. So here at Lyfe Wurks, we work with business services. Number 2, they have food and restaurant. Number 3, health and beauty. Number 4, general retail. And number 5, home services. So these are the typical businesses that are started, or the top 5. So with that being said, let's jump right into some 7 basic steps to kickstart your home business. Now, this is not an all-inclusive list at all, because there's definitely more than 7 steps. And we offer courses to really help you through that journey there. But these are some basic tips to get you started right away. And that's the whole key here. If you want to start a business, you can do it, and you can get started right away. And so let's dive right into it. Move my icon here. So the first thing we want to do is decide. A lot of people are a little hesitant, because it is somewhat of a scary thought to start a business, right? And so first you want to decide. The fact that you're here tonight, and the fact that you signed up for this webinar, and a lot of you will look at this webinar later, you've decided that you want to possibly start a home-based business. So the first thing we say is find a mentor. Find someone who either is in entrepreneurship, or is an entrepreneur, or is doing something that you may want to do. And I typically ask them out for coffee and say, hey, can I ask you a few questions, or can we talk about this? And more than likely, people are open to helping you out. You also want to survey your current situation. So a lot of you, I got a couple undervalued. So that means you probably have a current 9 to 5. So in typical cases, people will do something on the side. So that means you'll have that, you'll be able to still bring in some money, but you'll still be able to begin to work on this business. And, you know, that means you'll be pulled in a couple different directions, but at least you can begin to start on your business. And millions of people do that. We call that a side hustle. So you have your current job and you start another position. Or you may be in a position where you can jump out there and 100% be a full-time entrepreneur and be self-employed. And the next thing, you'll hear this a lot during this presentation, is research. You know, go on Google, go on YouTube, and find out what people are doing. So in that area of business that you discuss and that you want to go into. Find out what people are doing and how they're doing it. And from that, you'll see if this is for you, if it's not for you, or if you just need more information. And so here, I hope you can see this whole screen. There we go. And so I have a couple of quotes here that we'll go over, and I'm not going to read all of them, but this one says, "It is not always what we know or analyze before we make a decision that makes it great. It is what we do after we make that decision to implement and execute it that makes it a good decision." And so do your research. Find out what's going to work for you, because these things here, for us to reach success, and I say us because I'm in the same boat, you're going to go through hard work and late nights, rejection, risk, failure, all of that to get to where you see your success. Number 2, refine that idea. So first you want to figure out what's your most viable product. And I say your most viable product because some of us have 2, 3, 4, 5 ideas that we want to start off with. You want to start with the one that is going to be most viable. Let me read that definition to you. And so, and we also have minimum viable product. And this is a development technique in which a new product or an idea is developed with sufficient features to satisfy early adopters. So basically, the final complete set of what you put out is designed and developed so you can get feedback from those who will purchase your product. And so if you have a product or a service, that means you're putting out the quickest one that you can get to market, that you can begin to make money from it. It may have a lot of different features, or you may have a lot of different things that you're going to do with it, but you want to be able to put the quickest one out there that will give you the quickest return. How about, let's find out what your access to your intended audience is. And so if you are doing, let's say you're a mechanic and you want to be able to teach people how to work on their cars from home through YouTube, where are you going to find your audience? Where are you going to find people that need those services? Well, I would look for people that don't want to spend money at the dealership. And so find out where you're going to find these people and see how easy it is for you. The good thing is we have social media, and that makes it super easy for you to find people. And then look into the ease of starting that business. So for that individual that wants to do this mechanic work, is it going to be easy for them to find vehicles to work on and maybe find different vehicles? Or is he going to focus on maybe high-end vehicles? So do your research, and then your KCEs, your knowledge, capabilities, and your expertise. What do you have that you can bring to this idea that's going to really pull it out and make it pop? Because if you're thinking about it, there's probably hundreds of other people that are thinking about that same idea. So find a way that will separate you and really focus on your KCEs to make sure that you stand out in this niche. So number 3, now at this point, you want to start to begin to innovate. What is your competitive difference here with this product or service that you're thinking about? And so I think about like Nike and Adidas. They're very similar, right? Because they both offer sports items and shoes. But there's something that makes them different. There's something that sets them apart. Maybe it's the way the shoes fit. I prefer Adidas over Nike. Maybe it's the style that they bring. Maybe it's the people that endorse them. So whatever it is, you need to be able to find your competitive differences. At that point, you really want to find out how you're going to market with this. And so you bring up, think about a marketing plan. And this is not a full, robust plan, because remember, we're trying to get to the market as quick as possible. So in coming up with the differences that you have in your product, you can talk about what you bring to the table. So remember, we talked about your knowledge and capabilities. That can make your product different from everybody else. So in business services, for me, we started with entrepreneurship. And if you look at Google terms, millions of people look at that term. So we said, what can we separate and make ourselves different? Well, how about home-based businesses? Well, we may go from 9 million to 5 million a day in searches for that. So we wanted to make it even smaller so we can look at a certain group of people. And so how about we look at home-based businesses that want to start on a budget and maybe start today and get their products out there. And so it's a little bit more tweaked, and we can go with everybody. But then we went even further and we crafted our holistic approach. And that's something that a lot of people don't teach. And we'll talk about that a little later to make it a little bit clearer. And of course, you want to talk about what problem you're solving in the market. For us, again, helping people to start their business. It's not like it was back in the day. You can get started right away and at least get your product out there, and you always come back and tweak it and do the major things that you need to do for a business. And I want to read this quote here by this young lady. She says, "There's nothing new under the sun except for you, so go out and shine as only you can do." And that means that there are products that are like yours, but when you put your touch on it, now it's something amazing. So let's talk about branding. This is the next big thing. Now, branding is usually the fun part that people like to do. You like to come up with a name. You like to create your website. You like to do the logo. That's the fun part. And then now you want to make yourself known as a brand authority. And so the fun part also with this is with people starting these smaller businesses is that you can go on something as simple as social media to make yourself the brand authority. And what does that mean? Well, it means that if I know you and you're posting every day about this certain thing, I know you may have this expertise in it. So an example is I have a friend, he's in Atlanta, and he does mortgages. And so everybody does mortgages, but he makes sure that every time he gets someone in a home, they take that, picture in front of their logo with the keys in their hand and everybody's smiling. So yes, we know that he puts people in homes. But the other thing that he does, which is brilliant, is he calls himself the spiritual lender. So when you think about that, now he's targeting a certain group of people that may be spiritual, and they know that he's that way, and that they may be more inclined to use his services because he's got a trust factor there, even though you never met him. I have another guy that posts every day. He does inspections for homes, and he'll go into people's homes and he'll take pictures of what he sees, and he says, hey, make sure you get an inspector who will look for these little things like this. And he, finds the craziest things. But I love looking at his posts because anytime I know there's a picture coming up, I know he's in someone's home and finding some issues there that most of us wouldn't know to look, even some contractors that go. And so their branding is really good and targeted. And that's something that you can start with today, even if you don't have the business idea. But let's say you do yoga. Every day you can post about clients that you're meeting with, how you took client A from the beginning stages to where she is today. And you can do a ton of that. You want to always use pictures and video because people really look out for that. And now they're starting to know you for what you bring. And so you just want to figure out, are you doing personal branding or are you doing business branding? So personal, for that yoga instructor, she definitely wants to be personal because she's the one that's teaching the course. She wants to be likable. She wants to let people know that she can teach really well and that she has clients coming in. So those are the things that she wants to post about. But if you have a business brand, so let's say you have a product and you do t-shirts, you might want to put more visuals of your t-shirts because that's what we're buying is the t-shirt, not so much the person. And so when you do that, now you have the t-shirts there and we can see what it is that you have. You can definitely post about you and do a backstory, and that will help people to understand the story behind the t-shirts, but definitely be more branding of your product. And again, social media is behind all of this. And so on this one, you want to give up being perfect for being authentic. People want to see the authentic you, okay? Not just this, perfect business, but they want to see a backstory. That's why Facebook and Instagram have a button where you can share a story because people love that background. And then step number 5 is now here's the business part of it. So this is the part most people may not have the skills or they don't even want to do it. So this is where you can talk to your CPA or your accountant and talk about what type of business structure you want to set up. the important part of this is, let's say you set up as an LLC. This is important because it protects your personal assets, but this is important because also you want to get those tax write-offs. And I don't know, it was a big story this week. I think it was like 60 large companies, Fortune 500, and they paid absolutely $0 in taxes. And I think one was definitely Netflix, and another one was definitely Amazon. And so you know how much money they bring in a year, and they paid $0 in tax. So you need to get a piece of that as well. So do your research, find out what's the best structure for you, whether it's a partnership or a LLC or a corporation, and get that done. Go to your local state website for business, and they walk you through it really well, but definitely want to consult your CPA. And then license and permits, also insurance and bonding. So when you're doing your research, find out what exactly you need, and that you can find through the state as well. And these are just ways to protect you, your personal assets, and everything else that you put into this business if anything were to go wrong. And you also want to be in compliance. The other thing is you want to start doing your budget. So again, remember we talked about the percentage of people that will start with less than $5,000. And many people will actually start with less than $5,000. And so just do your business budget. If you are going to be able to set aside $3,000 when you start up your business, do that and start to budget. And what we teach at Lyfe Wurks is how to use as little money as possible, still make yourself look professional, still have the tools that you need to do your business, but not start with these big, huge things. So even that website we talked about, there's ways you can start a free website on Wix. Free website. If that's all you need to do is get your information out, and maybe you can even sell products on there, that's for free. Where people will pay thousands of dollars to have someone do a fancy website for you when you have absolutely nobody going to your website. So put that to the side. Do the low cost things that you need for today to bring in the money that you can invest back into your business later. So here, entrepreneurs don't write a 100-page business plan and execute it one time. They're always experimenting and adapting based on what they learn. And so that's why when you're doing this budget, don't spend a ton of money on it. Make your budget very workable where you can still get to the market, do what you need to do, and still have a professional looking business. Number 6, your lifestyle. So your lifestyle is going to change. And so the first thing is you want to start working on personal development right away. Go to audio books, start listening to some books that are pertaining to you, your business, or just your mindset. There may be a low cost to that, but it's worth it. Podcasts, if you can get podcasts for free, iTunes, go on there and start to work on personal development every day. Timing is everything. So timing here means you have to set time for your business. And so for those of us with kids and spouses that need your time, that's why you want to have a conversation with them and let them know, hey, I'm doing this new project. I really want to dedicate some time to this, and just be open and honest with everybody so they're on your side. And find a space. So for home-based businesses, it depends on what you're doing. So if you're a yoga instructor, I like to use that one. There's a lot of people that do these things inside their home. I have a young lady, she does Reiki. I always say that wrong. Reiki. And she wants to bring clients into her home. So we discussed how she can make this space for her and how many people she has, and she feels comfortable bringing people into her home. So she made a place where she can put a mat and all of that and make sure it's where she needs it. And then here we want to take a holistic view of our entire life. So again, because you're an entrepreneur, and we call it a solopreneur for most of the people because we are a boardroom of one. We're the CEO, the CMO, we're the graphic artist, we're the website person and the IT. We do everything. So that means every part of you has to be intact. Make sure you take inventory of what you have going on in your life and that you can sustain this business. Again, talk with your family. Look at your personal budget, which is also sometimes your business budget. Okay, look at the education that you have and see if you need more in order to be better. And then just be able to put yourself in a attitude where you are continuing to learn and that you're okay with making mistakes, but that you're just going to continue with this journey, because it's a journey. And then number 7 is probably the most important, that I see a lot of people don't actually do, is execute. You need to open for business. And so these steps are very basic. And again, this is just to get you on a lean thinking so you can take a product or idea, begin to develop it, and then take it to the market. And the reason why we promote this is because nowadays it's easy to go to market. It's easy to take a product or an idea and actually test the market. That's because we have the internet. So when back in the day you had to find clients by knocking on doors and sending out flyers and cold calling by telemarketing, those days are still here, but now we have it a little bit easier. And so you're able to network and prospect with people all over the world through social media and literally through your phone and through your laptop very easily. And so a lot of people at this point, this is when fear sets in, because we've done all this work and now we don't know, and we've made ourselves the brand authority by posting daily and telling people what we do. And now it's time to put your product out there and we get afraid. And that part is, it happens to a lot of people. It happens to a lot of people. And this is why we say, just do it. And I love to give these examples because I go through it too. But I had one lady, she had about 3 ideas. So we finally got her down to 1 idea. And she loved the behind the scenes stuff. So she loved putting all the stuff together, and it was finally time to start. And she just stopped in her tracks and she couldn't do it. I couldn't get her to press the button, send the post. I'm open, I'm selling these products. And so it happens, but we worked through it and kind of, got to the next level slowly. But open for business. And so what I say is do a launch party. If you need to invite your friends and family just to start, because, most of the time they're pretty supportive, invite your friends and family. Let them know what you have, and then let them know, hey, share on my behalf. I'm an introvert, so it takes a lot for me to do anything, especially something like this. This is me going outside of my comfort zone. And from this, I'm going to continue to learn. I'm going to mess up tonight, but it's okay, because at least I'm putting myself out there and people will begin to know a little bit about me, my brand authority, and that, what my services are. And so do a launch party. That's a good way to kind of get you out of your comfort zone and to start doing your pitches. Networking. So networking is different from prospecting. I like to think of it like this. Networking is the people that will help you to build your castle. They'll help you to build the rooms. They'll help you to fix the bathroom. They'll help you to lay out the furniture. That is what networking people do. Prospecting is the people that you usher in to the castle as it's being built, not when it's built, but as it's being built. You begin to usher people in, and those people are the ones that will get to know you, the people that will get to look at your products. Sometimes it takes 7 to 12 touches before they actually purchase. And so you're kind of working with them throughout time to get them to a point where from prospecting, they actually become a client. And also with the execution, you're executing and implementing that plan that you worked on. And you're tweaking every day, literally tweaking every day. And Richard Branson says a big business starts small. And so these are the small little things that you're doing that can eventually take your business from a home-based business to a big business that everyone recognizes. And so we just say you can make excuses or you can make it happen. No one can do it for you. So even as a business coach, I work with a lot of people, and some people just don't do it because of fear. And so that's why we created this holistic foundation that actually is really good in taking people past their fears. So this is the part where I'm going to ask you to participate. We're going to try to see if we can do a quick example. So if you look at this here, we just literally dribbled. So we decided, we refined our idea, we innovated, we started branding, we created a mini business plan, we started to work on our lifestyle, and we executed. And that equals dribble. And so if you can type in your questions box, give me just an idea that you're thinking about. And I just want to do a quick example of how this would look. So I want to open up my questions box. So just give me an idea of anything that you would want to start with, a product. You don't have to go into detail. It can be the industry that you're looking at. I don't know, anything that works. Okay. And we talked about the yoga instructor. We talked about business services. So, okay, so let's do this one. This is about, it looks like food or food services. Okay, so with food services, so clearly you've decided you're here, you're taking courses, you're investing in yourself, you're investing in your time. So you may have to invest money to really get down into what you want to do and how it's going to work for you. And so then you start to refine your idea. So with food services, maybe you want to figure out which type of food that is best for you. Maybe you're a baker, or maybe you're good with Mexican food. So you're going to figure out what segment of or what types of food or work best for you. So I'm going to use seafood since that's my favorite. So let's say you're really good with seafood. You can find it at a great discount. It's a great product, and you want to move on with that. So you're able to talk about seafood. You're able to talk about how you can sell it for low cost. And in your innovation, maybe you can start to work on some type of, I'm thinking about this place here. They call it slapfish. And so it's a really weird name, but it's intriguing. And so they're actually seafood too. And so maybe you can think of a name that means something that will set you apart. Again, so now you've got a name that will set you apart. You've got a cost, because seafood is typically pretty expensive. And then you'll come up with some really innovative dishes that people will love to talk about. And nowadays, as you know, as soon as you sit down in a restaurant, people are taking pictures. So you want to make sure that it's a picture perfect type of dish that people will share. And then your branding is just that. So anytime you make a dish, it could be even at home, take a professional picture, and now you post that on your social media. You create a specific page for your business, and you begin to post only pictures of your food. And people love that. I love that. Now, in your business plan, you'll start to figure out how you can do this. Maybe you want to do a food truck. That may be a little bit cheaper than doing something out of a restaurant or something like that. Maybe you just want to cater. You can cater from your home. Of course, you got to work on licenses and permits and things like that, but those are all ways that you can get your product out to market. And then again, with lifestyle, again, working with your family. If you're going to work out of your home, how are you going to make sure you keep your space clean and your children away from your products, things like that. And then you just go to market. So this one is a great one because you can always do taste tests. You can take your products, you can find people to partner with and see if you can cater their events, or you can see if you can just do a booth where they can do, taste a few of your items to see what works best for you. All right. And so that is a good example of how you can take a simple idea or a passion of yours. And you got to be really passionate to do this because it's a major space that people are in. How can you get your product to market where people will love it and can start to know you as this brand authority? All right. And I think, I like this dribble analogy again, because think about it. You can take the ball and you can have the best ball handling skills and you can dribble the ball down the court. And so that doesn't mean that you win the game, right? But let's say you dribble the ball down and you actually make it to the hoop. You shoot the ball, you make it. Okay, well, you scored once. That doesn't mean you won the game, but at least you scored. So now that gives you a little bit more confidence. And even taking the ball and dribbling it, that gave you a little bit more confidence. And so every little step that you take is going to give you more confidence to win the game of starting your own business. You're also going to get more knowledge. You're going to learn the people that are around you that you can pass the ball to, so they can help you out with what you're doing. That's your networking. And that's your family, and that's your friends, and those are those that will help you with your business. And so those are the things that you want to start. And eventually you'll start to add points and more knowledge, and that's going to help with your business. You're going to continue to tweak every day, and that's what you want. And so again, this is going to be recorded. Unfortunately, I got to kind of zoom through this because I don't want to spend too much of your time. But those are some basic 7 steps to get started. And then once you get through that, that's when you want to get your coaching and work with someone. And we definitely have those services where we can help you to get through the other parts of your business. And so what I want to do now, I want to go here. So what I want to do now, we have a new course that we definitely want to talk about, and it really ties into, now you've taken the ball and you want to scale this business, but you really want to start the right way. So the biggest thing that we see is people have great whys of why they want to start a business, but they don't have it to where they can sustain themselves to create a thriving business, to continue in business. And that's why so many people quit, or they run out of money, or they just don't have the infrastructure that they need to continue in their business. And so our course that we have, #SSS course, is called From Setback to Set Up in 40 Days. And my quick story is my setbacks have been undervalued, just like a couple people said earlier. Feeling undervalued in my job, having the education, having the experience, but just underpaid, undervalued. And I just knew that was not my dream to be in this space. And so for me, entrepreneurship was kind of a way of just winning on my own terms and being able to help others. I love, that has been such a passion of mine since 13, maybe because of my parents, and then just seeing what they did. But it has always been a passion of mine to work with others in their businesses. And so let's go into the course, and some of it, it's called From Setback to Set Up in 40 Days. So it's a 40-day course, and we uncover spiritual gifts. We establish success targets, how to apply them to your solopreneurship journey to create that thriving business. And so what we do is, let me open this up a little bit. And so what we do is really talk about the spiritual side. And that means you believe in something that's just bigger than yourself, your product and your service. If you just want it for 1 or 2 people, that's fine. But you can imagine how, once again, you can reach the world with your product or service. And then we talk about those are single. And we get a lot of single parents. We get a lot of people that are single moms and dads. We get a lot that are alone in their journey. They don't have anyone that they can kind of rely on. And so we have a community that's set up for that. And the solopreneur, which is, again, what we hashtag boardroom of one. And so I want to kind of go into what we're going to talk about with that. But here's some of the housekeeping with it. It starts this Saturday. And we've done this before, just not in a group setting. And so we really want to work with a small group of people starting from April 20th. It'll end May 31st. There's a holiday in there, so it's a little bit more than 40 days, but it'll be 40 days of work. You can do this from the comfort of your home or phone. And we will, once the group gets together, we'll figure out what times, but these are the tentative times and dates, and Saturdays and Thursdays. And again, you will get that 5 weeks of course content. It's going to be about 10 printable worksheets, actually more than that, and 2 live sessions per week. And so you'll be able to literally talk about your personal idea in your business that you want to start, and we will work on that. And by the end of the 40 days, you will have the foundation and the setup for your business. And the good thing is, it is somewhat at your pace, because if you can't reach us on any of these days or get on any of these days, Thursdays and Saturdays, or you miss one, the replay will be available. And so here are some of the modules that we're going to cover, 7 modules, and we talk about goal intentions. Again, spiritual gifts. This is going to help those that have several ideas to figure out what exactly they want to go to the market with first. We're going to go over relationships, action pack. So everything that we go over actually has some action items and activities that is going to take you to, again, that holistic foundation. We're going to do the finding time within time, and that's probably one of my favorites. We're going to go over money matters. And again, all that leads into your business works. And I call that one the trajectory because it's going to get you started on your business right away. And we talk about habits. So within this 40 days, you're going to create some really good habits to start your business. Now, the next thing we want to do is we have the frameworks that we talked about, but we also have these life hacks. And so again, this is a life work balance, because how can you expect to have your business when you yourself, the person running the business, is not totally there, or you need some type of improvement? We cover literally every area of your life where you can begin to holistically attack your business plan and really just put yourself in a position where you can thrive. And when those setbacks come and when those people say, I don't know what you're thinking and why you're trying to do this, you'll be okay. And so here are some of them. Our tag, our EGC, fear versus fact. This is a really good one to get rid of those limiting beliefs and leaning. And so here's what you'll get. So we have 2 packages. Again, 5 weeks of live interactive group coaching, the 10 downloadable PDFs. You get your low cost and free technology tools. And this one is really good because you're going to save thousands just literally on this section here. Again, the access to Dynasty Facebook page. And this is our group, and this is where we'll be able to communicate daily. So even though we only may have 2 live sessions, we have daily access. There'll be a 60-minute one-on-one consult for your particular business. And so just because it's in a group, you will be able to talk about your business and your personal needs. We will provide you a media kit. So this will basically get you to have a professional looking media kit that you could take to market, and one of our Lyfe Wurks t-shirts. And then the second package is everything here except for the consults, the media kit, and the t-shirts. And that's because you can do 2 payments versus 1 payment. And so the total value of $23.74 now is $597. The reason why we discounted this course, which is a question we get, is because we want to work with a small group and we want to get results. We know we can get the results, and we want in return some great feedback and testimonies. And we will ride with you the entire way with your setup, your small home-based business, to get you where you want to get to the next level. And we really want to see this. We really want to see this happen. And so whatever your why is, we're going to help you to reach that. We're going to help you to reach your why and then get your business started and get you on your profitable way. And so a couple of things. Just imagine sharpening your time for quality moments with your kids and your family. Developing your spiritual success blueprint. And that's important, because if we do it for money, that's great, but are we doing it to help others? And what is your why for doing this? Earning dividends for something that you're great at and love to do. That's my favorite. And being an example of perseverance for your family despite the setbacks. So the setbacks will come, but what are we going to do about it? And then again, setting a foundation for your work. And it's fine that we jump out there and we make a decision to do it, but a lot of people quit. So how can we keep you going for the long term and not quitting, not getting overwhelmed? And that's what we focus on. All right. And so that's it. We just want to give you what some folks have been telling us here for Lyfe Wurks. So they've gained knowledge and skills. And so the skills that were gained to implement easy to learn and remember frameworks, that's what we provide. They begin to differentiate their product and service from the competition, and that's important. And we really help people do that. And it says they can exponentially increase monthly bookings that cover the investment for the course, which is great. They built skills to continue and elevate their brand and build the following: credibility, results, and testimonies. And also we had one that saved time and money. They saved time with the time within time method, something that we teach. They increased quality time with their family and not leaving them with the leftovers. The leftovers meaning time and energy. I love that. And they reduce the guilt, the stress, the burnout that leads to shelving your idea and your dream, which is basically when people quit. And they save money with our budget exercise. They discover cool ways to reduce spending on unnecessary business expenses, and they learn practical lessons to pass along with their family, and creating generational wealth. And that's awesome. And so we just want you to join us on this journey. Again, it is an investment, but every business has some type of investment. And when we discuss these, we really want to, just be in a mindset that it's a journey, and the more that you can do to really elevate your brand and yourself will keep you on this path, whatever your reason for doing this. Again, for me, I just want to be able to help others and fulfill my dream of just working on my own terms. And I'm so tired of being undervalued in the corporate world. Here, I feel valued. I know I'm helping people, and it feels so good. And that's what we want to do with you. So I'm going to wrap this up. We started at, I believe, 7:06. So again, we will send out the link to this page. You can read everything about that course. It starts on Saturday. If you have any questions, let me know. I will be available after this presentation to answer questions, and we'll move forward from there. So I wanted to give a few bonuses. So with Lyfe Wurks, one of our biggest ones was Instagram. And I just want to focus on Instagram tonight because social media is a big part of our business and a lot of small businesses, because now you can scale through social media. So I just wanted to show this quick screenshot. February 11th, I only started this particular page back in September 1st of 2018. And so we had 0 people. By February 11th, on my own, I had 154 followers. And then today we're about 630, something like that. And so there's tools out there that will help you to scale. So in little less than 60 days, we've grown our Facebook following by 400 something people. And the reason is because there's algorithms, there's tools out there that you can use. So when we talk about these no cost to low cost tools, this is one of them. And the visibility that our company gets just through Instagram is amazing. You can do that through Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Pinterest, Snapchat, a lot of different tools out there. And these are this is free. So for me to put stuff out, people find our page all the time. They can see what we offer. They can we had our link for this webinar, and they can literally go into this webinar and join whatever link I have there. So we've got people from all over the world that have registered for this particular presentation. And so I will send a link also in the email that we'll send to you with the replay, some tools that you can use to actually grow your following. And the reason why we focus on this is because this is an easy way to get your product and your services and your branding in front of hundreds and thousands and possibly millions of eyeballs. They may not all like your status, they may not all follow you, but at least they know who you are. Because remember, we said it may take 7 to 12 touches before people actually buy. And so that leads to our no cost to low cost technology tools. This is only 6 of them. And in the course, we have a good 20 tools that will save you money, that will save you time, and that will save you, most importantly, headaches. So social media, we talked about that. The low cost part to that, it's free, but the low cost is if you want to do sponsor posts. Your website, we talked about that. You can get a free website with Wix. My website, which is lyfewurks.com, was done through GoDaddy, and that was about $100, and it was really easy to implement. You do have to purchase your domain name, and that is maybe 12 to 17 bucks, depending on what it is. Google, all free. There are some paid services, but for most part, you can run a business using Google. Fiverr, you can outsource practically anything that you need for your business, and it all starts at $5. Canva. So this presentation that we've looked at today was all done through Canva. Of course, you can use PowerPoint, but Canva is another extra level where you can get very professional looking presentations. You can do business cards. The sales page that you just saw was done on there. So it really looks professional. And I definitely say to use that, because I am not a technical person. But if you look at my website, this presentation, it may look like it was, I hope it looks like it was professionally done. But I've done all that through Canva, who has plug and play capabilities. And drag and drop is what they call it. And audiobooks, so low cost. I actually use Spotify, where I listen to podcasts, and that kind of opens my eyes to new things that are going on. And so, just definitely use these tools. And again, this is just 6, but we have a list. And the good thing in the course of what we do is actually walk you through these tools. And when we do a consult, we'll tell you which tools are probably best for your particular business. All right, so that is the end of the presentation. It is exactly 8 o'clock. I zoomed through this, and I apologize, but we had a lot of information to cover, and we did start at 8:05, so I've got 5 more minutes. I wanted to keep this at an hour, but thank you so much for just really taking the information. We want to make sure that 8 p.m. Yeah, so we want to just make sure that you have the information to just get your foot in the door. It seems like a daunting thing that you will start a business, and really it's just kind of daunting that you can start a business. But there's ways that we can make it easy. And some of our teaching tools that we teach is how to really put it in a way where you can start your business, keep it going, and then make sure that you have the tools, the technology to make it easier and faster for you. And that is usually one of the biggest things for people, because you have the knowledge. That's why you chose the idea that you want to go to market with, right? You have the skills, you may even have the license, but to do all that minutia, all that stuff in the background is the part that, really makes it difficult. And so what we're going to do is, and I'm not going to do it now, but I'm going to go through the notes and see who had the most engagement. And we also offer some merchandise. And so this is some of them. This is our Nothing is Greater Than Love t-shirt, our I Am a Boss t-shirt, and this is probably my favorite because it describes me. It's beware, I have an annoyingly optimistic view of just about everything. And so that person will be able to choose which t-shirt they want, and it's theirs for joining us and engaging in this presentation. And so I thank everybody for coming through and listening. You will get an email in a couple of probably hours. I'm not sure when they'll send it out, and it'll be a recording of this presentation. If you need to get in touch with Lyfe Wurks, here's my personal email. We are on all social media handles at Lyfe Wurks, and our website is listed here as well. And so that concludes